Alright guys, we are reviewing The Blackcoats Daughter 2017 in theaters tomorrow and on VOD. With Oz Perkins, which is awesome because that's Anthony Perkins' son. I'm bad, you know how I am. I never even knew this guy was a director, so when I saw that he directed it at the end of it all...
Wait, what? Anthony Perkins' son directed this movie?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, as also I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House. He did that film as well.
What was it?
I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House.
Never saw that one. I did hear about
it. Came out last year. It's probably still on Netflix.
I heard there was like 4 lines spoken that whole movie or something.
Yeah, I mean, you can talk to Dave about that movie if you want to talk to somebody who liked it. It wasn't me. I'm not the one.
I actually remember hearing your review of it. That's what I was referencing. But yeah, okay. I did not know that though. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, man,
where do you start?
You know, I'm gonna say this: casting, perfect, spot on casting. Holy shit, everybody was perfect. Especially, you know, it's funny. The highlight, obviously, of this movie is Emma Roberts, but I also got to give it to James.
Dude, all 3 of them I thought were tremendously good.
Who's the guy from Warriors and Tales from the Dark Side, the movie? James Elmar or something like that?
He's great, dude.
Remar,
yep.
Remar, yeah.
Yep.
He was great. Like, you could feel this guy's emotions when he acts, man. Like, you could see it, hear it, and feel it. He's really amazing. All the girls, I mean, there's one girl who could, I suppose somebody else could have played her. She's the one who was wondering whether or not she was pregnant. She was okay. She was good. This, you know, and it's funny, because I talked about those other low-budget movies or indie movies or whatever. Comparing the craftsmanship of this to them, it is like you almost feel sorry for them. It's like a David and Goliath kind of thing. The directing of this movie was phenomenal. The lighting, phenomenal. The acting, oh my god.
Alex, were you drawn to this movie because of the director? Is that why? Or I know you got the screener and all that, but were you like...
No, I just got the screener, and I didn't even know that he directed it. And the only reason I even watch this, because I get screeners all the time that I just don't care about. The only reason I watch this one is because I am infatuated. I didn't realize this, but it occurred to me last night. I am infatuated with Emma Roberts. She is the greatest scream queen of today, and I'm so glad because she's even on a show called Scream Queen, so it's almost fitting.
Which shows her range too. She's funny as fuck, dude.
She can't do no wrong. Do you remember how much we all loved her in the Scream 4 review? We didn't even really know her then.
I'm legit fucking in love with that girl. It's not even cute. It's like, I love her, dude. Yeah,
I love her, man.
And dude, how about we were talking about fucking nepotism back in the day, back a couple episodes ago too, about, you know, getting all that. I mean, shit, that's a pretty clear cut case of it, and this is why I always defend that shit, because it's so prevalent in Hollywood, period. And then on top of that, dude, like, okay, Julia Roberts' niece, like, oh god, like, here we go. And
yeah, you would roll your eyes hearing about it. And I'm the main guy to do something like that, but
dude, me too. But like, I love her.
She's Julia Roberts' niece.
Yes.
Is that Eric's daughter?
I believe it is. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Isn't that crazy, dude? Yeah.
Holy shit! I love Eric too. Like, I really love Eric. I actually
love
Eric.
Dredd, you like
I actually love Eric more than I love Julia. I had no idea that was who that is. Wow, how about that?
Isn't that crazy?
Well, good on her. No, I just thought she came out of nowhere. I seriously thought she came out of nowhere and was just awesome. But, you know.
Yeah, she's so good. I can't even explain Emma Roberts, how good she is. And it's weird because I was drawn to her, like, without even any thought, because that's who grabbed me, and that's what made me like Scream 4 so much. I was like, hey guys, I really like that girl though, who ended up being,
Spoiler, she's the fucking killer. Her and Macaulay Culkin's brother. But dude, here's the thing with that though. That could have went really bad in Scream 4. A lot of people don't like that ending. I'm like, are you kidding me, dude? I'm like, that was so badass, dude. Like everybody's like, oh, she's a tiny little chick. I get that or whatever, but whatever, dude. Like,
I don't care.
Scream to me has always been like, honestly, dude. Like I equate it with, oh, it's a whodunit. Those are the killers. But like when those masks are on, it's about Ghostface. It's not about like, it's weird. It's like a weird thing. Like you think about Freddy and all these things, but Ghostface is more like a symbol, like an entity more than like, oh,
exactly.
So yeah, but like Emma Roberts kills it, dude. But here's why I mentioned this, Alex, because this, and tell me if you agree with this, Jamie. And the reason I asked Jamie is because I know you haven't seen The Witch, but it's very much like shot that way with the music, very similar, in almost like tone as well. But this,
the tone of this is it's so subdued.
This does not seem like your type of movie at all. Like one could look at it and say it's very slow, but like, oh my god, I'm sorry, I'm stepping on your toes here. Get into all of it, because like, dude, even
no, you're right. I understand. I was having this discussion with Brian last night. I understand that this is not for everybody at all.
It's only for people with good taste.
Jamie's, she's got the gloves off, man, so watch out.
I always have the gloves off. That's what I do.
That. I know.
But no, and it's not about that. Like I that's funny. I am happy when other people really enjoy movies. I think that's awesome. Like when I read your post about this movie, I was so excited that you enjoyed it as much as you did. Oh man.
Oh, you don't share it?
I can't. And here's the thing is I love the story behind this movie. I think there's a really solid, good, creepy as fuck idea going on here. Something that really should affect me emotionally. By the time we get to the end of this film, I want to be crying for her. I want to be like totally invested in her loss, in what she's going through. I want to feel that shit. And the thing is, I just don't. And that's the problem I have with this film is I don't think he properly invested enough into the main character so that I could get behind her like I should. And that's what I'm missing from this film. And it disappointed me for that because I feel like, goddamn, like how fucked up do you have to be? Does your life have to be so that when something like this happens to you,
that you want this.
That you want it so bad. Yeah. That you actually feel the pain of missing this, like how messed up must your life be? I want to feel that pain. I want to feel it for you. I want to feel it with you. I want to cry for you. And I just couldn't do it.
Jamie, you know what? I agree with Jamie. I didn't think about, and I do have to say that the ending left me a little empty, a little bit. And I think it's Jamie just actually nailed it. I think the movie is perfect until that I don't have that emotional weight at the end of it. And I do, obviously I realized what happened, but it was almost like, wow, that's screwed up. instead of sharing her emotions.
Dave agrees with me as well, because we've had extensive conversations about this on Facebook, off Facebook, whatever. He agrees with me as well as far as the emotional part goes, but he also doesn't care. He still loves the movie as much as he loves the movie. And it doesn't bother him. And, I can appreciate that. Like if you recognize that and you still love the movie for what it is, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm just saying that's why I feel like it was a missed opportunity. I feel like a director with a more deft hand probably could have done more with it. I think someone like Flanagan could have killed a story like this. Because I feel like he has the emotional heft to deal with something like this. Another thing that stuck out to me was that I felt like the tone was exactly the same throughout the entire film. No matter where you were, everything was depressing. Everything was morose. Everything was down. Right. So exactly, and this is my sticking point with that. Like, I understand when you have a presence like we have here, that's what it's going to be like. But if everyone is affected and every place in that area is affected, how exactly are we supposed to know why things are bad for her? Like, what is the difference? Because her life is just like everyone else's.
True.
Well, everyone surrounding her was
now, but we have nothing to compare it to. Like, we have no, as far as we know, it's always been like this. Like, we have no way of, we have no way of knowing when this thing entered and what it entered into and how it changed things, because from our perspective, it's always been like this, you know.
Let me ask you a question,
I needed
Jamie.
perspective, you know.
Do you think on like maybe rewatch, you might feel a little different? Not in terms of like how it ends.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
No, I do. And I will openly say.
This is a rewatch movie, dude.
Yeah, it is. I will openly say that I am looking forward to watching this film again and giving it another chance and seeing if perhaps I was a little, I don't know. I mean, you know how things are, mindset, whatever.
Totally. You don't know what to feel, honestly.
Because I do love this story. I think that this is something that no one has really approached from this angle before. It's man, dude. I mean, the point of view of her and like how she perceives what's going on with her and what's going on, and that's completely different and completely original from any other example of this kind of thing we've ever seen in a film. I'm being so broad right now, but I know
we have to.
But I'm talking.
Yeah. I know, and you know what? I want to say a certain word. I'm going to cut this out right now. Tell me if you guys think I should refer to this movie.
I was almost going to say that just now. I mean, I was almost going to say it's so the opposite of the Sister Skate, but I don't know if that gives away too much, you know?
That's what I'm wondering, because I want to say something.
I don't mind knowing what's coming in a film as long as I'm enjoying getting to that point. For instance, with the Belko experiment, there are a lot of things that you know for a fact are going to happen when you're watching a movie like that. Like with Kong, you know, there are certain people that you know are not going to make it to the end, you know, but as long as I'm enjoying the ride, I don't give a fuck about that. You know, it doesn't matter. It just make it entertaining for me. But the thing about this film is that I found it so tedious that I wasn't enjoying the ride. And I was just sitting there going, I know where you're going, let's go. I know where you're going, let's go. And it just wasn't going. And
but that's where the rewatch thing comes in.
And so, exactly. And
now she won't be anticipating the things she already knows.
You nailed it, Alex.
But Jamie, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I mean that's exactly it.
But Jamie,
because
I feel the exact same way though, dude. Like I couldn't. You just said it so perfectly. I'm watching this and I'm getting literally frustrated, and I'm like, all right, I'm kind of squirming a little bit because I'm like, you're seeing all this greatness, but you're not sure how to process it exactly, and you know it's gonna pay off, and then when it does, you're like, well, fuck, now I gotta watch it again. Like literally, it's tough on first watch because it's like, wait, and it's not like necessarily confusing, but it is the way that they tell the story. They go like I said, yeah.
Well, and that was that was intentional. I mean, it was that he.
Right. Yep.
You weren't supposed to realize that until later. He didn't want you to, but that's exactly the point I was talking about. Is that the moment when he makes it clear who this is. Mm-hmm. At that point, I already knew it, and then I was like, "Oh man, why?" You know, I don't know. It disappointed me that it didn't get me. I wanted it. I wanted it to.
I feel like you might need to rewatch it. I don't know. I'm hoping.
I don't know. Sounds like it.
I know I need to, and I fully expect. I'm hoping that when I rewatch it, that I will. I want to completely change my opinion because like I said, I absolutely love the idea behind this film. It was the execution that I had issues with, and so I'm hoping that if once I watch it again, since I know what to expect, since I know what's coming or how he approaches the story, I'm hoping that will change my outlook. I really want it to. I do.
Yeah, with Jamie's flaws intact, now that I see it, the only thing I don't agree with Jamie on is the pacing, the tediousness or whatever, and already knowing everything before it happens. I'm more in the like, yeah, I was confused for the first 20 minutes. I didn't know what the parents thing, I didn't know this thing, that thing. I was just like, well, what exactly am I watching?
Well, dude, that first scene sets the tone for what that movie's going to be. Like literally right out the gate, that first shot, and it's like, oh, okay, this is what this is. And I don't want to call this like cerebral, but it's like I don't want to call it like an art film. I don't want to even put it in any category. But if I were to describe it, it'd be those.
It is an art. It's an art house film, though. It is, and
oh, it's beautiful.
To me, it feels like oh man, this is going to sound harsher than I intend to, but maybe not. I don't know. It's like a film school final exam is what this movie is to me. I mean, that's exactly what it feels like. It's like this guy, I feel like this guy he's like, I've learned all this stuff. I've just, watched a bunch of Bergman films, and, my dad was a horror icon, so I'm going to meld those two together and see what I can come up with. And I'm going to spit this out, and I'm going to get an A. I mean, that's exactly what it feels like to me.
No, he got an A.
I think he got an A though. I do. If I could, I could make a movie.
Well, except for not conveying the emotion at the end, he got an A.
I mean, but I'm glad you recognize that though, and that you see at least you see my point of view there.
Yeah, just because I like it, I don't gotta play stupid. Yeah, I get it. You're right. Yeah. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh no, it's perfect.
I'm not attempting to be nitpicky there. That is to me a legitimate issue that I have with it. Is that I just feel like I know that film could have really affected me on a deeper level if I was able to be right there with her, on an emotional level. And because I feel like if I had been on board with her, like if I had felt for her character, like I think I should have, by the time we got to the end of that movie, I would have been bawling. I mean, I know it. And
yeah, but would you? Like, isn't it more of a sick, twisted thing? Would you really be bawling, or would you really just be like, oh my God? Like, I don't know.
If it were handled in a way that I would have, or maybe that's just it. Maybe it's that's how I would have approached the character. So that's why it's a problem for me. I don't know. Maybe he didn't intend to approach the character from that point of view.
So, dealing with the subject matter, don't you think that the emotion, or I should say lack of emotion, and then at the end with, finally showing some emotion or whatever, not us feeling emotion, but the character specifically, I feel like it runs concurrent with the theme. Like, this is really, 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 really dark material, and I feel like that not showing emotion, and then all the events that lead up to the end, and then, that last shot even, and how it all plays out, I think it's perfect. And here's the thing. It's not about emotion for me. It's dark. It's bleak. It's kind of like that feeling like, ew, like really, that's what that is. Like, it's not a good feeling, but to me, it's great. It's so awesome. It's not about like feeling for the character. I totally agree with you guys. It wasn't like.
I'm starting to wonder. I understand Jamie's thing, but I'm starting to wonder if that is really the ultimate thing we were supposed to.
I feel like I should have. In order for this character to have impact on me, I need to feel her sense of loss, because ultimately that's what she has. She has a sense of loss. The one thing she has been able to grab onto for whatever reason in her life. And that's the thing, is we don't get enough. We don't know enough about her for me to feel anything for her. I don't know why her life is so bad. I don't feel it. And so if I had been able to feel why she was so fucking depressed, or why this was the highlight of her life, like her life is so shitty that this is the best thing about it, then
didn't they establish something where I think they were trying to with her parents, and she even wanted a priest to watch her play piano. Like, that's pretty bad if that's what you're.
They were trying, but I don't think it succeeded. That's my point. Like,
you think it conveyed properly?
No, I didn't feel it. Like, he said, like they said it. They showed you. They're like, here, this is what happened. In about just as offhand as that. It's like, here, this is what happened. See her, she's lonely. Yeah. I don't know. That's not enough. You gotta put me where she is. I have to understand why she feels the way she does. I have to understand that. And that's, to me, I mean, like I said, that's my point of view. That's how I would have done it. But to me, that's just filmmaking 101. If you can't make me care about your character, then why the fuck should I care about what happens to them?
He even had one scene that had me thinking, wait, is this movie even, where's this going? In the hotel? You know what I'm talking about, guys.
Oh my God. I am like, where are we going with this? Yeah.
If you looked on a script, you wouldn't maybe necessarily even pick that up, but in one quick little look, you're like, oh, wait. And I started thinking, I'm like, wait, is that what this movie's about? Like,
that's what I was thinking.
So, anyways, but I feel like with the way it's shot, the cinematography, with the music, with the acting, with even just the way the people talk to each other, and I guess I keep saying bleak, but it's very like, I don't even want to say monotone.
It's just subdued and it's very bleak. It sort of is it, but I loved it, and every minute as everything unfolded, I was completely captivated.
Yeah, well, but the horror elements of it, though, very, very, like, I guess subtle, but, like, accompanied with the music. I thought that was some of the creepiest shit, and the way that they did it, and how, like, I'll give you an example. Well, I'll give everybody an example of what we're talking about here. They'll show, like, a horror scene, and then, like, this is not, like, a new trope, but I don't even want to call it a trope, but, like, they'll show something really crazy and then just cut it. Like, they'll do a long shot, show something.
Yeah. Oh, how about the scene where she's looking at the boiler? Oh my god! When I was like, "What am I looking at?" I love stuff like that. Though.
Right? That's what I was gonna say. Isn't that shit, dude? I'm sorry, but like for people that and I understand, Jamie, your problems with it too, and I'm not putting you in the category that said you don't like this movie because I know you appreciate the same things we all appreciate and stuff like that. But for me, like I would say that like people that just love movies that love fucking this is like porn. Like this is just like movie porn, and not like not Jonathan or fucking what is Sophie D porn I'm talking about. But this is just like,
oh my god, what's with that guy? That guy needs to either go to...
I'm going to buy Jonathan or a fleshlight is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it. So, but I love it, dude. I love this movie so much. And I'll be honest with you, dude, like it shocked me that you recommended this to me, Alex, because like I said, I didn't think this was your type of movie. But
oh, and thanks for watching it,
dude.
Man.
I'll watch anything, man. But I was legit surprised. And I've heard about and it had a different name too. I believe it was called February before, right?
Yes.
This movie?
Yes. Yeah. I was going to say Blackcoats Daughter was the original title, and then it was released under February. Okay. I think that's the order that it went. And then now it's back under Black. I don't know. I honestly don't know how it works. I think it depends on where you are.
It reminded me of The Witch, didn't it, Jamie? Like the score and then some of the shots and stuff like that. I know you haven't seen The Witch, Alex. That's why I was asking Jamie. But did it remind you of The Witch?
I don't want to put anything with this movie in the category of The Witch, because The Witch is a film that I feel like this film attempted to do all the things The Witch did, only The Witch knows what it's doing. And it's, to me, that is exemplary filmmaking. Like, that is bam. That is like so high level fucking filmmaking.
I agree.
That to me is movie porn.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I totally, but I totally.
And I feel like this one attempted to do some of the same things. I just don't think it was as successful.
But is it better than The Driller Killer at least, Jamie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not at all the worst thing I've ever seen. To me, I don't think this is the thing is I don't think it was bad. It disappointed me.
Do you think it was pretentious, guys?
It was like, yes. Oh my God. And if you want, seriously, I mentioned this earlier, his other film, The Pretty Thing That Lives in the House.
That's what I heard about
that movie, to quote Brian, Pretty Thing makes this movie look like a white knuckle thrill ride.
Really?
And he's not kidding because
dude, I don't want to watch it.
It is so, I mean, and that's the thing is that I've discovered, I'm just not a fan of Perkins' direction. I'm not, and I can't help it. And I think that there is a pretension that's under there. I think that there's something that he's like attempting to achieve, but it's not, it doesn't feel organic to me. It feels like he's planning it. He feels like he's like, okay, I need to do this in order to get this thing. I need to do this in order for it to look like this. That's how it feels to me, is that it's mapped out. I don't feel like it's in his soul. I feel like he's purposely reaching for all these things. And then
do you see potential though, maybe for future films from him?
Yeah, it's early. It's early in his career, so possibly, yeah. But I will say that I am willing to give this another view. Pretty Thing, I am not interested in ever seeing again.
Right. I'm actually very taken back by Jamie's response to this movie. To be honest, I thought it was going to be the complete opposite.
I know, and I think everyone.
Are you shocked, Jamie?
People have been surprised at our response from because Dave recommended this movie a long time ago, and so
this is totally a Dave Z movie.
And he was like, you guys, and then we watched it and we're like, man, and he's like, whoa, like I totally don't think he saw that coming because we typically do love things like It Follows and The Witch, and I love art house films,
right?
But there's something about those films that feel organic and natural and honest to me. Something about this film doesn't feel that way. It feels, like I said, mapped out. It feels like it was constructed. Like I said, I'll watch it again, and I am interested to watch it again because I do really, 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 and I want to stress this, really, really, really like this story. Holy shit, I love this story. I do.
But Jamie, did you like it though?
I like it. But I mean, and so far I only have 2 examples of his direction. I have other examples of his acting, but I
wonder, Jamie, I wonder if you were in my shoes because you guys heard it right here. Everybody fucking listening to the Skeleton Crew heard it. I had no idea that it was directed by this dude. Do you think
I didn't know that going in. I had no idea.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, so okay. So there you go. Then
it wasn't until I saw the credits that I knew. So, and the after credits. So I had no idea when I was watching this movie anything about that. Like I didn't have a clue. I just thought it was some movie that, like some independent movie or whatever. So yeah, that didn't affect me at all. And then at the end I was like, oh, holy shit, how about that? It was Oz. And, then it surprised me because I kind of figured that I would like something that he did. Well, then we watched Pretty Thing, and I was like, bleh.
Yeah,
I mean, I absolutely hate that movie. So,
what about the horror elements though? Like, and I'm not like some of them are great scenes. Like there's one in particular where there's a kill in this movie, and dude, it legit like really just creeped me the fuck out. Like I was like, whoa, like, and it reminded me of like the Exorcist 3 scene in a little bit. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely. I said,
you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, that, yeah.
Oh, did you guys get that? Oh, thank God. Okay, I'm like, oh, I hope.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I'm not saying this film is at all without merit. There are some things that really worked, and I think that was one of them.
Okay. Oh, right on. Dude, that's what I'm saying, though. And there's certain scenes, like, with certain images, and like you said, with the boiler room scene, dude, like, accompanied with the fact that this did have that overall bleak tone, and I do think that it runs concurrent with the whole theme of the movie, too.
Yeah, the emptiness is what drew me in. And that almost makes sense if you think about it in, like, because with emptiness, that is where it's a place to go, because it's empty.
Right.
Maybe that is sort of the thing that we find, like draws us. And it's funny because this movie, and it's funny you say that, really, honestly, because this movie, I was thinking, is very reminiscent of Stephen King's It, when the character says, I saw the deadlights and wanted to be there. It almost is, it's
art, and that's the whole point. Any piece of art is going to evoke something different in every person who views it, whether or reads it or plays it or whatever. I mean, if you can stand in a museum, 2 different people can stand in a museum staring at the same painting, and both of them will get something completely different out of it. One of them may not get anything at all. And that's the thing. That's what art is. Art speaks to you, and so no one is wrong. There is no right or wrong about it. There is just how it makes you feel.
Don't you think with movies like this though, Jamie, they're more divisive than I'm not trying to like put it down, but like a bunch of people go see Kong, right? And I'm not trying to compare it like in a bad way. I'm just saying like movies like this.
There's a reason that some things are considered mainstream,
and
that's because they know for a fact going out it's going to hit that mainstream. It's going to draw in the masses. And that's because it reaches people from all walks of life, age groups, whatever.
Yep.
And then there are certain things that are made for specific people with specific tastes, and so yeah, absolutely. But that's the beauty of it too. That's what I love about it.
That's what I love about it. Right?
I love the fact that you guys both saw this movie and it moved you in one direction. I saw this movie and it disappointed me because it didn't move me as much as I wanted it to. And I mean, and as far as the emotional thing goes, I'm an easy mark. If and which is what Brian says all the time. If you can't make me cry, then you failed. I wanted that, and you didn't need that. And that's the beauty of it, is that that's something I was missing, something I wanted to feel that connection to. You guys didn't. You recognized that it was absent, but it doesn't matter. It didn't change. Change anything for you because you didn't require it of this film.
It doesn't all hinge on the emotional.
Exactly.
For me,
exactly.
Yeah, totally.
But for me, it does, and that's art. And I'm not. I would never attempt to change anyone else's opinion. I don't want you guys to go, oh, you know what? You're right. This movie fucking sucks. Like that's not my goal. All I can do is explain how it did or didn't make me feel.
Totally.
And that is solely on me. It is not on anyone else. And it's not on the filmmaker. It's, you know what? It's his film. He doesn't have to make a movie that I connect to. That's not his job.
Join us, Jamie.
You know, his job is his job solely, especially as an artist, is to make a film that he connects with. Mm-hmm. Particularly when you're dealing with independent film. I mean, when you're talking about mainstream shit, then yeah, your job is to appeal to as many people as possible because that's your fucking paycheck. But when you're making an independent film and you're doing it solely as an art form, if you are an artist and this is your goal, then your first and foremost end goal is to please yourself. And that's the way I look at it anyway. You know, when I made a film, I don't give a fuck what other people really think about it. It's for me. That's the whole point. And so he doesn't have to give a shit that I didn't connect to it. All he has to care about is that he does. And then the fact that you guys got something out of it, and that Dave, for instance, got something so much more out of it. And then I think the other Exploding Heads guys all loved it too. And
Jason Lloyd loves it. Jared Fair loves it. Jordy Orster.
So clearly he connected with enough people who felt about it the way he did. That's really all that should matter, and probably all that does matter. I mean, he doesn't give a fuck what I think, and nor should he.
Well, guys, I like how Alex brought up Emma Roberts too, though, guys, and how, like, I'm sorry, but this is a huge step, I think, in her career, in terms of just like, I mean, really just knocking it out of the park. Like, and it's, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to demean Scream Queens, but that's a very, whatever type of show, like, it's very specific. And then when you get into stuff like this territory, like I said, the look on some of these people's faces, like in one shot, goes from one emotion to the next with subtlety, with all these things, dude. I think I agree with you, Alex, man. Like, I think she just shot up to like one of my favorites, man. Like, I always loved her, don't get me wrong, but dude.
Oh, her range just keeps growing because now she showed she can go into a movie that is so bleak and empty and completely say, oh, that's what we're doing. Okay, this is how you do it. Bam, spot on, perfect approach to this type of movie. She was totally in sync and in tune with what they were going for. You know, she was not at a place in any way. She just exuded that entire thing. You know, like, it's perfect.
Well, dude, and not only her too, like the youngest girl, the blonde-haired girl. I don't even.
Oh, that girl too, yeah. When I was looking at that girl, I was like, you know, I think she has a future. You know, I was looking at her, and I was really into her approach and the way she did everything. Like I said, perfect casting.
Yeah. How this ended, too, it did stop, and I felt like it was a good place to stop, but I was like, okay, well, it stops here, so what does this mean? And then, like I said...
Well, what are you going to do? See what she does after that? I mean,
There's no point, right?
There's no point in that. It doesn't mean anything. It's not... We haven't been watching to see where she goes from there. You know, we just saw, oh my God, that is the situation that she's in now, and it's like, fuck, wow, it's crazy. It's weird that we're even here, that she's even thinking like this, but wow, that's crazy.
And there's some pretty hardcore horror elements in this movie, man. Like, straight up, if you think about everything that goes down, holy fucking shit, man. There's some shit. There's some shit, dude. Oh, man, I love this.
Well, how do you rate it from 1 to 5?
Here's my thing, guys. I think I explained this before, too. Like, to give it a 5 nowadays, I feel like I have to, like, censor myself in a way. Because to be a 5, I look at it like life-altering movies. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like I feel like as far as ratings go, like if 5 is the absolute best, like I'm talking like, and it doesn't even necessarily have to evoke an emotion, but anyways, long story longer, 4.5, because I can't give it that full 5 because it didn't literally like change my life, and I didn't go to Europe for a year after this movie, so it is what it is. But 4.5, but don't get it twisted. I loved this fucking movie, and dude, this is gonna be a great rewatch. It's a great recommendation for people too. Like if you like movies like that, and I know Jamie, I feel you on the I'm trying to think what's the opposite of a comparison? Like the disconnect to The Witch. I totally see that, but like we're talking about art movies and this and that. Like it's in that same vein. So if you like shit like that, check it out.
Well, you're right about that.
Right.
You're right.
Okay. So yeah, I'm trying to provide context.
If you like movies like The Witch, then this is something that you could be drawn to. Yes.
Totally.
So, Jamie, what's your official rating on this movie, only on your first watch?
I'm gonna have to say, man, I know you're gonna call me on a cop out here, but it's a 2.5 for me, and I'll tell you why. I like it because I like this story, and there's a lot of originality there. There's an approach here that we've never seen before, and there's something that I think is like really amazing. The story itself is phenomenal. So that is where the like comes from. Right. The dislike comes from everything else I've spilled my guts about. So because of that, I have to nail it right in the middle between the two. I can't say that I
rate it though, Jamie. I like that.
I can't say that I really like it because sadly there's so much that detracts from it for me. But that's not quite a don't like, and hopefully if I watch it again, I would like to see it get bumped up. I really would. I will be the first one to be happy about being wrong.
Well, Jamie, let us know when you revisit this, and we'll talk about it on the show.
Honestly, whatever. I should have watched it again for this. I would have been interested. This would have been a good time to do it, but I don't think Brian is far enough removed. He said he wants to give it. He wants to give it like a good span of time.
I'm surprised that you, Alex, gave it a chance, and that you dug movies like this, because like this isn't quote unquote your jam, your cup of tea. This ain't your thing, man. Or no, but you know what I mean? Like,
well, I was okay with Babadook. I liked Enemy a lot, and I like this a lot, and I like. There's a couple that are similar to this that I really like. So I think, I don't know. There must have been something. There must have been a string of movies I didn't like that were in this like fashion.
Okay.
In the beginning of everybody, getting to know me or something. It might have painted me in a way where I'm not into this kind of thing, but I gotta say, I know that recently, more than anything, in the last 3 years or so, I've been much more open to this type of movie than I ever used to.
You know how happy that makes me? It really does. I love
definitely.
I love this shit, man. I'm not below like looking something up and saying, "Oh, that's what you were going for." Like I'm dumb.
Oh, I did do that, dude.
Did it take away from it? No, I don't think. For you.
No, I actually loved it more. Like I don't want to say the movie because, of course, I'll look like an idiot, and everybody jumps on that every time I say something that's not perfect about me. They love to point it out. Oh, you didn't do this. So go fuck yourself. I'm not telling you to all those people, but there's a movie I watched where I didn't get it. And then I went on Wikipedia and read it all, and then, or else I went on a YouTube and it said, this movie explained.
Right.
So obviously a lot of people didn't get it if they make a video about explaining it. Mm-hmm. And oh my God, I was blown away. And then I reflected back on the movie, I played it all through my head, and I was like, I really love that movie.
Oh, so what do you rate it?
So that doesn't hurt me to read about
it.
Right. This movie, I didn't understand what left me feeling a tad empty at the end of the movie, and Jamie nailed it with I guess whatever was supposed. Like I said, I'm not sure Jamie's right about us supposed to be crying for her or whatever, but something is definitely not being conveyed at that in the last 5 minutes. So I think there is definitely something that's, I don't know what we're supposed to feel.
I just thought the whole thing was so dark and kind of like twisted, you know, like it was such a weird like story to tell just by the nature of what it is, that it's like, oh, like I see like, okay, she's what, oh, I don't want to say it, but that.
Okay, it just didn't impact me enough is what I'm saying, I guess. You know, whatever we're supposed to feel, I don't know. I'm not a filmmaker and I didn't write this. But whatever it is, I didn't get, no, I actually am. The Ghost of Michael Myers. It did not impact me enough. That's all I know about it. With Jamie saying, you know, like the film school thing and the shots aren't organic, they're more, this is, you know, reaching or whatever. I don't think that much when I watch a movie. I'm just watching a movie. I don't wonder about anything like that, and it never occurs to me. I guess there are some directors who are like way pretentious, and then it'll be like really hitting you over the head with it.
Right.
But I didn't get that from this, so to me, that didn't come into play. So that's why my rating obviously will not be as low as Jamie's, because I'm not even smart enough to pick up on that. So like they say, ignorance is bliss. So I don't even think of that stuff. So to me, it did whatever he wanted it to do. To me,
Okay.
But because of some of the things that were pointed out in this review, I will drop this down to a 4.5 out of 5. You know, I do love it and stuff, but it does have a couple things. Hey, that's a great rating. And one of the things, if you really want to put this in context, just think of some of the other movies I mentioned tonight. Oh my God. I mean,
Well, yeah.
the filmmaking of that compared to this, it is like Oz Perkins is a genius. You know, if you compare him to what else is going on out there. Yeah, I'm sure there's guys like who did The Witch who are better, I guess. But, oh my God, he's still up there with the top guys, in my opinion, because there are so many bad guys out there running around like they deserve the position they're in, and they don't.